What is going on, basketball fans, and welcome back to NBA GOAT News. Now, last night was the first stage of the NBA Cup group stages, and we had some killer games. Let's start with the clash between the Detroit Pistons and the Miami Heat. The Pistons came out firing on all cylinders, jumping to an early 39-21 lead in the second quarter. It looked like Detroit would cruise to victory, but Miami had other plans. Led by Tyler Hero, who was unstoppable, the Heat stormed back with a 23-4 run to take a 1-point lead by halftime. The intensity was just getting started. Drama hit early when Nikola Jovic had to exit in the first quarter after a hard collision with Malik Beasley. And that wasn't the only scare. A third quarter pileup involving Tim Hardaway Jr., Tyler Hero, and Jalen Duren halted the game as a medical staff attended to a bloodied Hardaway, who was later wheeled off the court. The fourth quarter turned into a shootout with Hero going nuclear, scoring 18 points on 6 of 9 shooting, including a blistering 6 of 8 from downtown. But even with Hero's heroics, the game wasn't over. With just 1.8 seconds left in overtime, Hero nailed a clutch jumper to put Miami ahead 121-119. The Heat faithful could taste victory, but Detroit had one last card to play. On the ensuing inbounds, Cade Cunningham dropped a perfect alley-oop to Jalen Duren, tying the game at 121. The Heat's costly mistake, calling a timeout they didn't have, resulting in a technical foul. Step up Malik Beasley with the game on the line. He coolly knocked down the technical free throw, putting Detroit up 122-121, and just for good measure, he sank another free throw with 0.1 seconds left, sealing the Pistons' thrilling 123-121 victory. Beasley and Cade Cunningham led Detroit with 21 points each. Meanwhile, Tyler Hero's spectacular 40-point performance, including 20 in the final period and overtime, wasn't enough to lift Miami to victory. A rollercoaster game with high stakes, crucial plays, and unforgettable drama. Exactly what the NBA Cup is all about. Last night's showdown between the Atlanta Hawks and the Boston Celtics was one for the ages. The Celtics, coming in hot off a 2-game winning streak and playing on their signature green floor, were ready to dominate. Jaylen Brown was in full swing, dropping a season-high 37 points, while Derek White chipped in a powerful 31. But the Hawks had other plans. Despite missing star point guard Trae Young, who was out due to right Achilles tendonitis, the Hawks were fearless. Dyson Daniels led the charge with a career-high 28 points, and Jalen Johnson notched an impressive triple-double with 18 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. The game hit its peak drama in the final seconds, with Boston up 116-115. Jason Tatum's corner 3 rolled out, and the Hawks saw their chance. Daniels missed a floater, but Okongwu rose to the occasion, tipping it in with just 6.1 seconds left to give Atlanta the edge. Boston had one last shot to steal the win. After some inbound chaos, Derek White got the ball to Jaylen Brown, who pulled up from 13 feet as the clock expired, but it bounced off the rim. Heartbreak for the Celtics and jubilation for the Hawks. That led to the Hawks taking this one 117-116. Now let's get to the Orlando Magic and Charlotte Hornets game. The Hornets came out swinging, led by the electric LaMelo Ball. Fresh off a career-high 38 points just days earlier, Ball kept his hot streak going, dropping a sizzling 16 points in the first quarter alone. With threes raining and fans on their feet, it looked like we were in for a show. But while Ball put up a stellar 35 points, 6 boards, and 7 dimes, Charlotte struggled to hold on to the momentum. The Magic, meanwhile, had their own spellcasters ready to work. Enter Franz Wagner. The young forward was unstoppable, pouring in 32 points and slicing through Charlotte's defense with ease. And let's not forget Jalen Suggs, who couldn't seem to miss early on, hitting 7 straight shots, including 3 from downtown. After a tightly contested first quarter, the game turned in the second. The Magic defense locked in, forcing Charlotte into 10 turnovers and a brutal 4.5-minute scoring drought. During that stretch, Wagner was the only player to score a field goal, leading Orlando on a crushing 19-3 run. With their relentless defense and deep bench contributions, outscoring the Hornets bench 45-27, the Magic sealed their third consecutive home victory by more than 25 points. Final score, Orlando 114, Charlotte 89. And what a showdown between the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. This game did not disappoint. OG Anunoby was on fire, leading the Knicks with 24 points and playing like a man on a mission. With his powerful drives and deadly mid-range shots, he was a nightmare for Philly's defense. Meanwhile, Joel Embiid was back on the court, but it was a tough night for the reigning MVP. With only 13 points on 2 for 11 shooting and just 3 rebounds, Embiid looked rusty and struggled to find his rhythm. For the bright spot for the Sixers, Paul George. He carried the team with a stellar 29 points, 10 rebounds, doing everything he could to keep Philly in the game. But the Knicks' secret weapon was none other than Josh Hart, who notched a triple-double with 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. Talk about impact. Karl Anthony Towns was a force, dropping 21 points and grabbing 13 boards, while Jalen Brunson chipped in 18 points, keeping the Knicks in full control. The key moment? The start of the fourth quarter, where New York exploded with a 13-2 run that left the Sixers reeling. Anunoby put on a dunk show, capitalizing on Embiid's speed, slow defensive rotations. Final score, Knicks 111, Sixers 99. The Knicks' ball movement and balanced scoring proved to be too much for Philly to handle. And last night's matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors was full of intensity and big performances. Both teams came into this game with something to prove, holding the two worst records in the league. The Bucks, desperate to snap a 2-game skid, faced off against the Raptors, who were riding a brutal 5-game losing streak. Missing from the Bucks lineup was Damian Lillard, sidelined with a concussion, and for the Raptors, Emmanuel Quickley was out with an elbow injury. The first half was all about Grady Dick for the Raptors. This young star put on a show, dropping a career-high 22 points before halftime and knocking down an impressive 12 of 14 free throws. But the Bucks weren't backing down. Giannis Antetokounmpo, in his typical dominant fashion, led the charge with 23 points, while Bobby Portis provided a crucial spark off the bench with 17. The Raptors came out swinging in the third quarter, going on an 11-0 run to tie the game at 54-54. But just when it seemed like Toronto might shift the momentum, the Bucks answered with their own statement. An 11-2 run, capped by a huge three-pointer from A.J. Green, turned the tide back in Milwaukee's favor. As we moved into the fourth, the Bucks tightened their grip, stretching the lead to 21 points. The Raptors fought back, cutting the gap to just 10 points with under 5 minutes left. But Milwaukee's defense held strong. Giannis and company secured the 99-85 victory to end their losing streak. The Phoenix Suns lit up as they clashed the Utah Jazz in an electrifying NBA Cup showdown. Devin Booker was in superstar mode, leading the Suns 31 points and showcasing his lethal three-point stroke, and he wasn't alone. Bradley Beal made his mark, adding 24 points and helping Phoenix stay ahead whenever the Jazz threatened. Oh, and Grayson Allen, he chipped in 15 points and kept the net sizzling with some clutch threes. With Nurkic sidelined, Mason Plumlee stepped up big time, finishing with 15 points and 14 boards, dominating the paint and giving Phoenix the extra push they needed. But don't count out the Jazz yet. John Collins came to play, dropping 29 points and grabbing 10 rebounds. The Jazz's bench kept the fight alive too, with Kyle Filipowski pouring in 18 points and Lauri Markkanen added 17. Utah surged late in the game, closing the gap to just 6 points early in the fourth quarter with a statement dunk from Filipowski, but Bradley Beal wasn't about to let the Jazz steal the show. He answered back with consecutive buckets, keeping Phoenix in control. Then with the clock winding down, it was showtime. Royce O'Neal and Devin Booker sank back-to-back daggers from downtown, stretching the Suns' lead to 110-98 with under 4 minutes left. Phoenix's offense was a well-oiled machine, connecting on 18 triples and scoring 16 fast breaks to stay one step ahead. Meanwhile, the Jazz showcased their power inside, outscoring the Suns 58-34 in the paint, but ultimately fell short in their comeback bid. Final score, Suns 120, Jazz 112, and the Suns kick off their NBA Cup campaign with a statement win. Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors pulled off a stunning 120-117 comeback against the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Cup showdown. The headline, Stephen Curry in MVP form, dropping 37 points and rallying Golden State to victory by scoring the Warriors' last 12 points. And who was on the opposing side? None other than Klay Thompson, making his emotional return to the Bay after joining the Mavericks this past July. Thompson, greeted with roaring applause, didn't disappoint. He put up 22 points and even hit a crucial three-pointer to give Dallas a 110-105 lead in the fourth. But in the true Warriors fashion, that's when Curry said, "Hold my Gatorade." With dazzling handles and ice-cold threes, Curry lit up Chase Center, shooting 14 for 27 from the field and adding 9 assists and 6 boards. He also orchestrated a fiery 23 run to start the third quarter, reminding everyone why he's the heart and soul of Golden State. And the drama didn't stop there. Moses Moody, showing no fear, blocked a Klay Thompson three-point attempt before taking a hard foul while trying to throw it down at the other end. Luka Doncic was back with 31 points, proving his groin strain was a non-issue, while Derek Lively made a strong showing for Dallas with 12 points and 8 boards, despite an injury question mark. But turnovers hurt the Mavs, with 18 mistakes turning into 21 Warriors points. At the end of the night, it was a battle of old friends and fierce competitors. Curry's clutch heroics sealed it, but the moment fans will remember, that embrace between the Splash Brothers, signaling respect that runs deeper than any rivalry. And last night, the Portland Trail Blazers faced off against the Minnesota Timberwolves. What a game. The Blazers came into this game with something to prove, and they did just that, taking down the Timberwolves with a solid 122-108 win. And leading the charge for Portland were Robert Williams and Grant, each putting up 19 points to fuel their team's victory. Williams, back from a knee injury, showcased his presence on the court with 9 rebounds and 3 assists. On the other side, the Timberwolves fought hard, with Naz Reid lighting up the scoreboard for 28 points, while star guard Anthony Edwards contributed 26. But despite their efforts, Minnesota couldn't keep up with Portland's scorching three-point shooting. The Blazers, who came in as one of the league's lowest-ranked teams from beyond the arc, surprised everyone by hitting 18 of 32 threes. That's an incredible 56%. And how about those buzzer beaters? Delano Banton nailed a long-distance shot to end the first quarter. Talk about clutch shooting. Portland's early momentum was unstoppable. They leaped out to a 28-17 lead after the first quarter, with Banton's buzzer beater punctuating their dominance. This came after some early adversity when Simmons left with a chest injury, and Scoot Henderson picked up 3 quick fouls. On the Timberwolves end, the struggles continued following Sunday's meltdown against Miami, where they let an 88-80 lead slip away. Bench depth was a huge factor too. Portland's bench outscored Minnesota 64-39, showcasing how deep this Blazers squad can go even without key players. And what a first day of the NBA Cup. If you want more NBA games, highlights, and recaps like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.